Thanks very much, Godfrey. And of course, I'm very excited this morning to have joining us the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation. We have a pretty distinguished crew in the studio this morning. We have the new president, Mike Moore, the new chairman, I should say, Mike Moore. We also have Edison Sumner, the chief executive officer, and of course, the lovely Vienna Gardner, my good friend, the co-chair of the Ease of Doing Business Committee within the Chamber of Commerce. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning.
Good morning. Listen, the Chamber remains absolutely probably the most critical business organization within the country, and you guys have been quite busy. You're into your first year, and of course you have a whole laundry list of things that you want to get accomplished. Tell us more about it.
Sure. Well, as you mentioned, we started off June 14th and 15th. We had a fantastic conclave, which we do every single year. This year it was at Bahamas. We had over 150 businesses participating in the two-day event. The Prime Minister kicked it off, and our focus there was essentially 5 critical areas, and it was a very engaging format in that we broke all of the participants down into 5 groups. We covered taxation, starting a business, our Family Island development and infrastructure, energy, labor and employment. Essentially those were the 5 areas. Each of those teams went through an exhaustive review of what are the challenges facing our country, and out of that came 14 key themes. The Chamber has 8 very active divisions which work tirelessly every single day, comprising over 50 professional business people that are all members and volunteering their time and energy. And they essentially took those 14 critical themes, absorbed them into what we do. Those chairs of each of those divisions then worked to develop objectives and strategies for this coming year. And those were then presented to the overall BCCEC board and to finalize exactly what we were going to do this coming year. One of those is ease of doing business.
Just one.
Yeah, but obviously a very important one, and that's why we're kicking it off this morning. And Vienna and Christelle Feast are 2 champions that are so passionate. I mean, I think you spend probably 28 hours of every day working on this.
She's probably inventing new hours. For
she is.
Trying anyway.
But Vienna's here to talk about that.
But the ease of doing business obviously is something that has been spoken about for a long time. It's studies that have been done. We talk about competitiveness. There's so many things that we can change, and I'm sure that the list is probably exhaustive.
There is an exhaustive list, but what we've sought to do is to break this list down into key objectives. Items that we can tackle within the next 3 months, 6 months, a year, so that we can have wins. The conclave was very useful because members of the business community actually said what their issues are and made recommendations as it relates to their solutions. So our priority, first and foremost, is to reduce the time frame in which it takes to start a business in the country, and the cost associated with that, to streamline the time it takes for non-residents to start businesses in the country. We also want to reduce the duplications in the process. You find that you have multiple agencies asking for the same information. We know that Prime Minister Minnis has talked about creating a single electronic window. We want to assist with that. We want to help come up with the ideas and the programs that would cause that to come into place, in part because if it is in fact a more simple process for us to start, operate, and renew our business licenses, to renew whatever approvals that we have on an annual basis, then of course it touches the bottom line, which is where we started speaking at the beginning.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's a lot of stuff.
We have a lot of people working on this issue, and in fact the government also has a national ease of doing business committee, and so we're collaborating, and you find that there's specialists and teams working on different issues so that we can come up with ideas, plans, solutions, drafts quickly to make presentations to the government, and hopefully these policy recommendations will be accepted and implemented.
Well, that's good. I mean, you guys have hit the ground running. Hopefully this new government has also hit the ground running, and the collaboration efforts, Edison, are on the same path.
Yes, we've always had very dynamic relations with the government, and this one is no different. We have already had the opportunity to meet with the Prime Minister on more than one occasion, and we continue to build on those relationships, right? So it was important for us to understand the government's mandate, what it is that they're trying to achieve, and to be sure that the Chamber's mandate line up as far as possible so that we can provide the resources and, as Viana said, the assistance to help meet those objectives. So it's important for us from the private sector to be there to push the government to ensure that the things that they set out to do are being accomplished, and that's being done on so many levels. The Chamber of Commerce, of course, being the leading business association in the country, is leading this charge, but there are others who are also in the game helping with the efforts. So we're going to continue doing what we're doing, and it's all going to be done in an effort to improve business in the country, to improve the economy, to improve the level of employment and employability in the country, and ensure that we have absolute and complete private sector engagement in the process of governance in the country.
Right, that's an important role. I mean, you talk about businesses, but we have a very, well, like most economies, especially in the region, a very large small business sector. Is the Chamber of Commerce paying a particular attention or a particular approach to the small business?
We have a small medium enterprise division, so yes, the answer is definitely yes. Again, comprised of persons that are coming out of that sector. And part of the format, and actually this launch this morning with the counselors and Bahamas at Sunrise, is that over the course of the year, every division will be sitting here and presenting exactly what's going on, how they're doing against their objectives, what challenges are in front of them. Edison spoke about, respectful accountability. So if we find that, we're not getting the support, we're not seeing enough action from various areas, to include government, that's going to be discussed, in a very open, transparent, respectful manner. But the expectation is that each of the chairs will sit right here and present, over a brief time, but to keep the public informed. And as well as we need to hear from the public, we need to hear from our membership. So for that, they need to contact our offices or the division chairs or myself, and let us know what they think, offer recommendations, comments, advice. We're open to it.
Well, we're very glad that you've started this on Bahamas at Sunrise, and for those who are watching, not just in New Providence, but certainly in the Family Islands, there's an avenue, there's a way for them to participate in Addison. For those who are probably not members of the Chamber of Commerce, please tell us how we can join the Chamber of Commerce, not just in New Providence, but throughout the Family Islands.
Sure. Well, first of all, there are 9 chambers throughout the country, so every major island has a chamber, so they can always reach out to the local chambers, but they can also get us here at Nassau at 322-2145 or admin@thebahamaschamber.com, or they can visit our office on the corners of Shirley and Collins Avenue. Walk in, they're very friendly staff there, willing to accommodate them any step of the way, or contact any of our directors, right? Any of us are open and always available to go and sit with our members, or those who wish to become members, to get them into the membership.
And one of the things that we said to business persons who attended the conclave is that we really wanted them to participate in the Ease of Doing Business initiative. Many of them are going to be participating on subcommittees with us for the initiatives, and we would really like for them to reach out and say, yes, let me lend a hand.
Okay, excellent.
If I could just add one last thing, and that is through that conclave, the dialogue that we have, I think, is tremendous because it also engages the civil service. We had representatives from the Department of Inland Revenue, from Bahamas Customs, as an example. So, this journey that we're on is not done in a silo. We have a partnership that exists with those key areas within government, so that, because honestly, within the civil service themselves, they acknowledge some of the challenges that they're facing, and so we have to, begin this journey with them as partners, and that's what we're looking at.
Mike, Edison, Vienna, I'm very excited about the path that the Chamber of Commerce is on, and we certainly look forward to seeing you in the very near future, and of course learning more about the committees. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.